This is my story. The story of how I survived 6 days in frozen hell. The worst nightmare of my life. Everything you are about to see actually happened. 6 days on a frozen mountain that changed me forever. It started like any other flight. Bad weather ahead, the pilot said. Nothing to worry about, just some turbulence. I closed my eyes and gripped the armrest. I told myself everything would be fine. Flights hit rough air all the time. My wedding ring pressed into my palm. I thought about my wife at home, my children waiting for me to return. The oxygen masks dropped from above. That is when I knew something was wrong. This was not normal turbulence anymore. Through the window, I saw only white, snow and mountains rushing toward us. We were descending way too fast. The plane hit the snow and started sliding. The sound of scraping metal was unlike anything I had ever heard. We slid for what felt like forever. Then everything stopped, and there was only silence. Complete and total silence. The plane was broken but still mostly intact, smoke rising into the gray sky. We had crashed on a mountain. I do not know how long I was unconscious. Minutes, maybe. Or hours. Time had lost all meaning in that moment. When I opened my eyes, I saw snowflakes drifting past. Gray sky through a cracked window. I was somehow alive. I pulled myself out into freezing air. Snow up to my knees. Other passengers lay motionless in the snow around me. I checked every person I could find, hoping someone else was breathing. Anyone at all. But no one was moving. There was no one else. They were all still. I was completely alone on that mountain, the only survivor. That realization broke something inside me. Tears froze on my face before they could fall. I was utterly alone. I looked at endless white peaks in every direction. No roads, no buildings, no sign of civilization anywhere. The cold hit me then, brutal and absolute. I knew I had to move or I would freeze where I stood. Part of the fuselage was still intact. I stumbled toward it through deep snow. I needed shelter from the wind. Getting inside felt like a small victory. The wind could not reach me there, but it was still dangerously cold. I could see my breath in white clouds, frost forming everywhere around me. I needed to find warm clothing fast. I searched through suitcases scattered in the wreckage, desperate for anything warm, anything to survive the night. A wool blanket, a winter coat, small things that meant the difference between surviving the night or not. I blocked every gap where wind came through, built walls from luggage, created a small protected space for myself. My shelter was not much, but it was something. A tiny pocket of survival in this frozen hell around me. The sun went down. Temperature dropped even more. I watched the light disappear with terror growing inside me. That first night was the longest of my life. I huddled in blankets in darkness. Wind screaming outside without stopping. I could not sleep. Too cold. Every few minutes I had to move just to keep myself alive through the night. My breath came out in clouds. Frost formed on the blankets. My lips cracked from the cold, dry air. I kept moving my arms and legs. Anything to stay warm. Anything to keep awake until morning finally came. The wind howled all night. Hours passed like days in darkness. I prayed for sunrise to finally arrive. When dawn came, I was still breathing. Barely alive, but still here. I had survived the first night. Day 2. I forced myself outside to look for rescue. Surely search teams were looking for us by now. I scanned the sky in every direction, looking for helicopters, planes, any sign that help was coming. I built a signal from dark luggage on white snow, a giant X visible from above. A beacon for rescue. From the air it would be clear. A dark signal against white. Please see it. Please find me here. I learned to melt snow for water. Body heat against the bottle. Slow, but it worked. Survival basics. Food was running low. A few protein bars left. I rationed every bite. I did not know how long I would wait. Day 4. My face was raw and red. Frostbite spreading. My body starting to fail. Time running out fast. 1 protein bar left. Almost no water. I realized with dread that maybe no one was coming for me at all. I watched the sky hour after hour. Nothing came. No helicopters, no planes. The sky stayed empty and gray. Where were the rescue teams? Did anyone know we crashed? Was anyone even looking for us out here? Day 6. I could barely move, body shutting down from cold and starvation. Every breath was an effort. I thought about giving up, just closing my eyes, letting the cold take me. It would be easier. Then I found the photograph. My wife, my children, smiling at the camera, our family together and happy. I looked at their faces and started crying. I could not leave them. Not like this. Not ever. I crawled toward the shelter entrance. Every movement was agony, but I had to keep watching the sky. I collapsed at the entrance, too weak to stand, but still watching, still hoping, still refusing to quit. Then I heard it. Faint at first. A sound that did not belong to the wind. Something mechanical, growing louder. I listened harder than ever. Was it real? Was I hallucinating? I could not tell the difference anymore. A dark speck appeared in the clouds, moving, growing larger. A helicopter. It was real, actually real. Tears streamed down my face as it approached. I tried to scream, but no sound came out of my throat. I raised my hand toward the sky, one shaking arm, everything I had left. My last signal for rescue. They saw me. The helicopter circled, then descended. They found me. After 6 days, they finally found me. It landed in an explosion of snow. People in orange suits ran toward me, real living people coming to help. Hands touched my face. Voices said I was alive. They wrapped me in blankets. Warmth I had not felt in days. I tried to thank them but could only whisper. Tears would not stop. I was shaking from pure relief. They lifted me onto a stretcher, gentle and careful.
Thank you.
Then carried me toward the helicopter waiting nearby. They loaded me inside, and the door closed. I was leaving that mountain, leaving the place that almost killed me. A medic worked on me, IV fluids, warmth returning to my body. I could feel myself coming back slowly. The helicopter lifted off. I watched the crash site shrink below, the place that almost became my grave. Through the window, I watched it disappear, 6 days of hell becoming smaller, finally fading from my sight. We flew over mountain after mountain, so many peaks below. I realized how lost I had really been. I pulled out the photograph and held it to my chest. I was going home. I would see them again. For the first time in 6 days, I closed my eyes peacefully. I was safe. Finally, on my way home. 3 weeks later, I stood at a hospital window, healing, scarred, but alive, grateful for every new day. My face will never look the same. Frostbite left its marks forever, a permanent reminder of what I survived. But scars heal. Bodies recover. What matters is that I am still here, still able to feel the sun. The door opened behind me, small feet running, voices I thought I might never hear again calling my name. I turned and there they were, my wife, my children, running toward me with arms open. Why I never gave up. I held them so tight, all three at once, crying and laughing together, never wanting to let go again. That moment was worth every frozen second, every hour of darkness, every moment I wanted to quit. This is why. We sat together on the hospital bed, a family complete again, against all odds, together once more. I look at mountains differently now. That one almost took my life. But it taught me what really matters. I survived because I had something worth surviving for. That is the only secret. Love kept me alive.